Okay, welcome back to the shop. So, today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at sizing a metric cap, which is out of a motor pecker head, and really what we need is we need to size this for a connector. We're going to end up taking VFD cable in through where this was threaded into and hook it up to variable frequency drive. So this is a little bit of a work project here, and what we'll do is we'll measure the thread pitch on this, and we will measure the diameter of this and see if we can't figure out exactly what the size of this is and what we can order. So let's see here. We can start with the diameter. We got two things here that we could use. We could use a dial caliper that is metric. We could also use a scale. This is a scale that it's a metric scale. We could also use that. Or we could use an actual metric micrometer, and this one here is 50 to 75 millimeter. There we go. So what I think we'll do is we'll play around with all of them and see if all three agree with each other. So let's start here. We can go with the measurement here. So it seems like we're somewhere around a close hairy eyeball on that. We'll line it up with the flat. I want to call that 62 millimeter. I'm wondering if that's a 65 millimeter actually, till the thread pitch is on there. It's really hard to eyeball, but it looks about like 62 millimeter. Let's see here. I'll get this guy over it. Make sure it was zeroed. It was. Always want to double check that you're actually zeroed there before you have at it. So let's try this here. And I'm trying to get on the flat side of this caliper and not on the thinner part here. So that indeed does look like we're like 62 and a half, I want to say, because there's 63. So 62 and a half appears to be the size. Physical measurement, again, I'm not overly on top of what sizes of metric are, so I'm sure there's some guys in other parts of the world screaming, "You moron, it's obviously this," but I am not at all familiar with that. So it's a fun thing to play around with here in the shop, and I thought we'd figure out exactly what we got going here. So we'll play around with our micrometer here, and it seems like we are agreeing 62 and a half. So we have three methods of measurement, and they're all fairly similar there. So 62 and a half seems to be pretty close to what this is, and I have a feeling that'll be 60 millimeter. But we'll see what the sizes are, because I don't really know off the top of my head. Okay, so we're going to use a thread pitch gauge. Thread pitch gauge is here. This particular one here is a Metriche one, 60 degree. I think that means that the threads here are 60 degree angle. And on the other side we have Whitworth, if you can see it. There we go, sort of. There it is, Whitworth. and that is 55 degree, meaning that the thread cut in there is 55 degree, so not interchangeable. Whitworth is, I believe, more common on the Europe side of the world, but yeah, that's not something I'm common with. This gauge was made in Germany, so we will also size up what we're using, and we're right on the 1.5 thread taper. So we were gonna look for a 60 or 62 millimeter with a 1.5 taper and see if we can get something like that. Okay, so we did a little bit of digging here, and we can see that there is no M60 like I thought there was. There's actually an M63. So that being said, this does measure, if we were to look at it, like right here is pretty snug. We are right at like 62.5, and that's right on there, and it feels, you know, pretty good around there. So 62.5 millimeters, that's pretty close to 63. And if we want to double check with our caliper here, right there we go. Same thing, 62.5. And the old hairy eyeball routine, try and line that up with the finger. Hold your tongue just the right way. And 62.5-ish. So there we go. 60. So I think this is M63, and we verified the 1.5. There we go. Verified the 1.5 thread pitch, just like that. There we go. So what we can look at here is we're going to be looking to get a connector like this. It's an exploded view of it. There's the part that threads in, there's the part that clamps on the cable, and there's the nut that compresses this into the wedge that's in there. So here we go. We have M63 by 1.5 thread, and that one opens up 35 to 48 millimeters. So that will be, let's make a 48 millimeter on here. That would be that big, like so. That's about 48 millimeters right there. So what that means in real world, let's see here. We'll do something quick, and we'll show what 48 millimeters is. Happen to have a square laying here. So 48 millimeters equates to just about a little bit over 1 3/4 inches. Actually closer to 1 7/8 inches. So there we go. Pretty close to 1 7/8 inches. So now I just got to double check the cable that I have. I'm pretty sure it's pretty much near that same size range. And this should get us all sized up. So I think this is going to be the connectors we want to get for this job. Figured it out from the plug. Again, going into this, I had no idea what was going on with metric pipe connectors, especially this size. Never did anything with them before, so kind of neat to play around with, kind of neat to see. Got to use some of the unusual tools from the shop here that we had laying around. But we were able to get a good size on this. So there we go, M63 by 1.5 thread. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.